He was in Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s inner circle. He mentored a young Barack Obama, and he was there when noted historian Carter G. Woodson first introduced Negro History Week, which has now been expanded and called Black History Month. Timuel Black is one of Chicago's most notable Black historians. I sat down with the centenarian last week to take a look back on his remarkable life. And so you know, Mr. Black has been fully vaccinated for COVID. We remained socially distanced throughout the entire interview at the DuSable Museum of African American History. The only request Timuel Black had as we sat down for this interview was a cup of black coffee.
Okay, I'm ready when...
At 102 years old, this orator, activist, seasoned teacher of Black history and social justice, and author has certainly not let grass grow under his feet.
I don't have any problems except getting older.
He's been working for Black equality since he was a child. Born in Alabama, his parents, sharecroppers, were a part of the first Great Migration from the South to the North. They came to Chicago when he was a year old.
They fled to be able to fight back against the Ku Klux Klan, to be able to vote, to have quality education.
His mind like a steel trap, recalling the first time his father took him to hear the Black nationalist Marcus Garvey speak in Chicago decades ago. Garvey's philosophy was for Blacks to leave the America that doesn't want them and go back to Africa, where he thought they belonged.
My father was a Black nationalist. At that time, Marcus Garvey would come to Chicago, and Marcus Garvey would tell us, why did we leave Africa and why won't we go back?
Black figured he'd stay in Chicago and fight for equal rights and level the playing field and teaching young Black students the history of their ancestors.
I get calls from students that I had 60 years ago and they called to see how the old man, and they're successful, white and Black, that remember when I inserted Black history into American history.
He may not have known what an impact his teachings would have on so many throughout the years. In fact, his birthday has become quite a pivotal date in history a few times over.
December 7th, 1918. Famous day in history, I call it.
December 7th, 1941. A date which will live in infamy.
On his 23rd birthday in 1941, he found himself celebrating with friends at a local tavern, listening to the sounds of jazz maestro Duke Ellington on the radio.
The word kept coming over the radio, Pearl Harbor has been bombed. Pearl Harbor, well, that was interfering with the music that we would, I turned to George, I said, she shouldn't have drank so much.
All jokes aside, the Army drafted Black. He landed smack dab in the middle of World War II and a segregated army, Black troops under the command of all white officers. He remembers how Black troops were mistreated and persecuted.
I am being treated like a by my commanding officer.
He was honorably discharged as a decorated war hero from the Battle of the Bulge and came out without a scratch. But inside, he was battered and bruised and used that fire in his belly to take on a racist and segregated city.
So it's hard in places like that.
He finished his education, a bachelor's degree from Roosevelt University in 1949, a master's from the University of Chicago, then on to a teaching career, all the while protesting injustice. And some may say he was a rabble-rouser.
That sounds pretty good. That sounds good. I rabble-rouse for the cause of justice.
While teaching at a high school in Gary, Indiana, on his birthday again, he was inspired by a kindred spirit.
I turned on the television and heard this young man repeating what he had inherited. I'm tired. His name was Martin Luther King.
Chicago has been a symbol of hope for thousands of black men and women.
Martin Luther King Jr. spoke to his soul, and he was the first to invite Dr. King to Chicago to speak. And later, he helped organize his march in 1966 in Marquette Park.
Everybody say freedom! Freedom!
He was just steps away when someone threw a heavy object at the Reverend's head. But what he remembers fondly happened the night before the march at the original McCormick Place before a fire destroyed it in 1967. That's when he introduced the King of Jazz to Dr. King.
Dr. King said, "Oh, there's Duke Ellington." And I walked over and introduced Dr. King to Duke. I was finished. Those two great human beings meeting and having known of each other already, I had the pleasure, not that I planned it, to introduce them to one another.
The time is always right to do what is right.
A lot has happened in the country since I first sat down with Mr. Black in 2009, right before the first inauguration of Barack Obama. He was a youngster then, a spry 90 years old.
With the United States being in the dire circumstances that it happens to be economically and politically in the rest of the world, as Sam Cooke said, a change has got to come.
We've had another president, he's written another book, and he's living through a second global pandemic. In the first one, he lost his baby sister. And in this second outbreak, he recognizes the hesitation some black people may have in getting the vaccination, citing some of the country's mistakes, like the Tuskegee experiment, where black men were blindly left untreated for syphilis. He says, don't let the country's mistakes of the past be your mistake for your future.
They should be afraid to take the vaccine because the alternative is more dangerous.
The author of 3 books, the recipient of dozens of awards, and a roster of successful students, he has quite the legacy, and he's not ready to pull out of the parade.
The end is on its way. I know all of us have that. But I have the feeling of I've done the best that I could every day. That is my reward. That when the end comes, I will leave with hardly no regrets because I did the best I could.
The Illinois Black Hall of Fame is honoring Dr. Timuel Black as its first inductee June 19th at his inaugural gala. And I've had the most amazing conversations with Mr. Black. I should say that it was my dad, Louis Mateer, who first told me about him just years ago and told me, go interview Tim Black, go interview him. And he and my dad, several others, would sit around in Chatham's Isola's restaurant, popular restaurant at the time. It's no longer with us. They'd sit around and talk politics, jazz, and current events over breakfast. As I said, Isola, this has since closed, but definitely, like Timuel Black, has been a big part of Chicago's black history.
An amazing conversation and relationship that spans so many years between the two of you and your dad.
He's a sweetheart, though.
Just a wonderful thing to share with us tonight. Thank you, Micah.
Thank you, Mr. Black.